Hi guys, this is the 9th episode of our DevOps learning series. Today we'll be discussing about installation of Node.js with NVM. Before we dive in, if you have missed any of our previous episodes, you can click the link above. If you want to learn DevOps and get industry acclaimed certificates, you can take our DevOps certification course. We have attached the link below in the description box. Alright, let's start the video now. Alright, so let's talk about what is Node.js and what is NVM. So basically, if you know that it's nothing but a manager, NVM is a manager which helps you to download and install Node.js. So Node.js is nothing but, kind of a language you can just think like. There is a set of code that is being used to run, and then you can deploy with the help of Node.js, NVM, you can deploy the Express, JS, JavaScripts and stuff. So those things we are going to see up in this session, and we'll be seeing that how to deploy that onto the AWS EC2 machines. So this is my AWS account, and currently I am into the US East 1 version. Okay. Now if I launch an instance and I give it a name, let's say if I say Node.js server something, and then I choose Ubuntu. Okay, I'm using a free tier version of instance type, which is T2 micro. Okay, key pair, I will say you can use a StarJail AWS key, which I have already imported as part of my SSH key rotation. Okay, I will use an existing group, which is launch wizard 1. Okay, you can compare the security rules here, though I know what are the. Basically, it has access to 22 port and web server 8080. So then we have storage of 8 gigs, and then we'll just launch the instance. Okay, so the instance is getting ready. Either you can connect it like this, or you can connect it via if it lets you connect, then you can connect it like this, or you can connect via SSH from your local machine using the access keys. Okay, yeah, I'm getting some error, no worries. So I will just refresh this, and this is my server, this is my public IP, and if I go here I'll say SSH, and I will use, so for any Ubuntu machine the username is automatically being created called Ubuntu, and this is my public IP address, and the key that I'm using is I've created the private and public key pair on my local machine, which is the same I imported to the AWS keys. I will say yes, so that I can update my key to their authorized machines. Perfect. So now I am currently onto this machine which I have launched. Okay. Now we will be seeing that how to download and install Node.js using NVM. So first of all, we will see that packages. So we will be using apt installation. So first of all, I will just update my repositories just to make sure that it has the latest available repo link, so that I can download the latest version available for the Node.js. Okay, so let it complete. So once it is done, after that we can install NVM. So I will use curl -fssl. So this command you will find it if you Google it actually. Okay, if you just Google it up, let's say Node.js VM installation, so you will find the steps to set up the Node.js and stuff. Okay, so these steps are present already here, so you can just review this, and then with the help of that it will let you set up it. But we will be using this here, raw.github usercontent.com/. You don't have to memorize this. You can refer the Google Doc to reference this and then install it. Okay. 5/install.sh let me just check the URL if it is correct. Curl fssl https github usercontent.com / pnmsh nvm / 0. Okay, yeah, so it has downloaded the NVM for me, and after that it is asking me to export the environment variable. So I will just copy this here and then paste it, and automatically if I run this command environment and then grep for let's say NVM, I will be able to get the whatever the NVM version that I have directly set up as part of this environment variable. Okay, so once that is done, after that you can either restart your shell, or you can just reference that you can just reference to your bash rc, or if you're using zsh, so you can just refresh your configuration file for your the login for this Ubuntu user, the basic file for bash. Let me check what is the version of NVM which is being installed here. Okay, so NVM -- version command says that currently I am on 0.39.5. If you remember the command that we used to download, we use the same version, v 0.39.5, and I'm getting the same one here. Okay, perfect. After that, I will say NVM to install the latest. So I will use -lts. Yeah. So this will download the node for me, and then it will be setting up the Node.js. So it has set up version 22.14.0, which is the latest available as part of the repositories. Okay, so if you want to use the default version, you can use it, or if you want to set up a particular version, so you can use NVM install. Let's say if I say NVM install 22, which is already installed. If you want to install some other version, you can reference like the version name after NVM install command. Okay, after that you can say I want to use the version that I have installed already, which is 22. So currently my Node.js is using version 22.14.0. Okay, and then you can verify this with command node-v and npm-v for the version of npm. So this is the correct setup on my Ubuntu machine, which is a EC2 instance running on the AWS side. Okay, all right. So if you want to list down the NVM packages, so you can use command nvm list. It will tell you what all versions are there, and it has listed the version details as well. So this is the default version that I'm using, which is the latest only, 22.14.0. Okay, and I've already choose to use that. Okay, after that let's just you can create a sample directory, and that's where you can have a Node.js script to be present. So I will create Node.js test. Okay, and then I go inside Node.js directory. So currently if you see, I am inside my home directory, and inside that Node.js -test I'm present over here. Okay, all right. Here I am going to create a script, JavaScript, and then see what it basically prints it for me. So I'll have a console.log. Okay, I'll say hello Node.js script is working for me. I'm just adding a content, you can add any content. Just want to showcase that how does a Node.js application being run, and then how can you access it via the web services. So if I do cat, I will be able to see, oh, this is the content that that I have in my Node.js application, single line of code in my app.js. Okay, in order to run this, you can use node and then the script file that you have created. So it will give you the output, whatever the output it has actually. So this is how you can run any Node.js script with the help of Node setup. Okay, now let's create some sample web services. So I will create one more uh, web services. So for that I can have constant HTTP. You will refer this any of the Google Doc and you will find references to have a web services set up with the help of Node. So this script also you can just find it through Google constant server HTTP dot create server request response and then response dot write head 200 / once you get the response, then content type is content type. You can have plain text, text plain. Okay, this is done. After that, response dot end, and I'm going to end this response with say hello from Node.js server. Okay, exclamation mark and then /n for the new line, and that's it. After that, and that's it. You just end it up here. Constant port. You can have a port. So I'm using port 3000 to list my web server. Okay, so this is where my server will be listening. So I'll have listen on port 3000 console.out console.log server running at HTTP localhost $port value which I've already defined as a 3000 / okay. So this is I have set up here. Let me run this web app, and it will say okay, server started running on port local port 3000 on my local machine. So how do I access this? So there are two ways to access it. One way is that you can either do SSH to another session and then access it up, or you can access it via your same console. So how am I going to access it? Just I'll show it up here. This is my server. I will just copy the public address and then say HTTP public address and then 3000. Okay. So you are getting the response as a hello from Node.js server. So this is what we have deployed as a web application. So this is the way you can deploy with the help of Node.js. It's an example we would wanted to showcase here. And one more thing is that why are we able to access it on port 3000? Because if you go to security and you access this security group, so you will understand that we have inbound and outbound rules set up for this security group, which is attached to my EC2 instance on where the Node.js is running. And the inbound rule says that anybody from outside world has access to port 3000 from anywhere as a source. That's why I'm able to access the Node.js. If I remove this or if I tweak this, I will no longer be able to access on port. So let's say if I change this to let's say 3000, or if I delete this rule and then save it again, and then again if I try to access it, it will load from cache, but it will not resolve or it will not, since it does not have access to port 3000 on this machine. That's why it is just keep on looping and saying that it's not responding anything, you are not getting any response from the server. So that's where you can block in order to make sure that inbound traffic to be on your AWS machine. So I'll again add up a new rule and say custom TCP on port actually sometimes you have to just make sure that you type it once only and from anywhere in the world, and then just save the rule. Once you save it, and then you will be able to get the response on 3000. If I open it up again, it will be listing. So this is how you can build a web server with the help of using Node.js, So this will work like this. Now let's try to download or install the express.js as well, and we will see how does Express work. So let's talk about some real scenarios where we'll be talking. So I'll just disclose this connection, and rather than I'll just install Express. So to download Express and install it, you can use npm, which is our Node.js package manager, to install the package that we would want. So I will say Express, okay, npm install Express. So it is checking that, okay, currently 69 packages has been added to your via npm. Okay, so once that is done, then you can just modify. So I will have Express code as well created. Okay, so let me just create Express. Let me just zoom it a bit. Require, let's see, Express. We need Express to run this code. Constant app Express. Okay. This code also you don't have to memorize. You can just reference to Google and then look for any Express code sample. You will find it up here. Okay. So, but we are just typing it up here for the request and responses, just to validate that response.send hello from express.js exclamation and then this thing. Okay, after that, let's close this out. Constant port. I'll be using port 3001 because I am already using port 3000 on my Node.js application. So for Express, I'll be using 3001. So otherwise, there will be a conflict created automatically saying that this port will already be bind to my existing application. So I don't want to create and go into that situation. That's why I'm preferring to set up another port which will be listening for Express application. Okay, so that's why we are going there. So here, say console.log Express server is running at http localhost $port. Okay, / and then so this is ready. Now let's run this Express .js. So it says that server is currently, I think there is an issue with just a typo here. I will just correct this typo. Okay, instead of semicolon it has to be colon. Once we do that, the server is running on port 3001. Let's try to explore this on 3001. So I will use the same IP address, and instead of 3000 I will just say 3001. So you see a different response has been coming from the Express application which is running on our machine. Since the same thing, it's working on the port 3001 because we have opened this port here. So if you look at the inbound rule, and if you see it here, so on port 3001, from anywhere in the world, we are able to access this machine. So whatever the application which is running on your machine on port 3001, it will be able to list down that, that particular application is accessible. And on port 3001, we are running our Express application on this machine. So if I edit this inbound rule again, and let's say if I delete this rule and save this configurations, let's try to explore it again. You will not get the response back from your server because the port 3001 is not there as part of the inbound rule being created. So it's kind of a security constraint. So now you need to have this rule in place so that you can access the application which is running on port 3001, and I should be able to access from anywhere. Okay, so if you see it up here again, if I say 3001, I'll be able to get the response back because the security rule has been updated. So this is how you can set up the Express and you can test it out also. And if we talk about how do you uninstall a version of npm, and then how do you uninstall Node.js that you have downloaded and install it. So for that you can use go through the commands. Also you will find the commands on the Google. How do you uninstall that packages? I'm just telling it up here. So first of all, you have to deactivate the NVM that you have activated. So it will remove the path of your NVM which was earlier identifying, and was able to work it for you. So it will remove that path first. After that, you can uninstall version that you have installed, which is 22. Okay, so NVM uninstall 22, install 22. Okay, so this will uninstall the node version of 22. Okay, after that you can remove so there is a directory which is automatically being created in your home directory, so you have to remove all these directories. Okay, then .npm also is created, so you can remove this, and there is one more called node -gpg gyp. So this is also need to be removed. After that you can just try to see if there is any entry which is present in your bash rc, the environment variables that we have exported earlier. So I'll just try to filter it out and just see if it is still there or it has removed, so let me just check bash rc. Sed -i nvm dir/d from bash rc. This is okay. What's the problem here? Character true extra. No worries, expression once. I'm just checking if there is any problem with the command. So doesn't look like thing, but it's not there or something. What if I just say nvm .sh/d nvm.sh/d from extra character after command, so it's not recognizing this bash rc. Or if I say get bash rc grep, and then if I say okay, anyways, we can ignore this. Let's just check if okay, so node -v does not give us anything. It says node not found, which we are confirming that the node version has successfully uninstalled. Okay, after that, if you want to delete this directory, you can delete this current directory, which was automatically being popped up when we set up the node actually. After that, you can just ps aux, and then you can grab for node. if in case there is any node application running and binding to any port, so you can just run this. Otherwise, so currently there is no node application running, so there is no need to kill any process which is already there. So this way it can help you to set up the node application. Later you can just go through your EC2 instances, and then you can delete this instance. So you can basically terminate. So once you terminate, it will be gone forever. So if there is any work that you have done, will no longer be accessible because this instance itself is being deleted. So this is how you can set up node application with the help of using node package manager. And then alongside, you can also have Express JS application where you can set up any Express script. If you have anything, you can write down and you can access those as the form of the web applications. But considering that there should be a security group has to be aligned as per your application binding in terms of port on your machine, because if it does not, then you will no longer being able to access those web applications. So you just think like if there is any requirement to have a Node.js applications to be built up and as part of your web application. So what you can do is that later with the help of NPM, you can just download and set up on your machines. So this the manual commands that I have executed and created those scripts, that part can also be automated in the form of Terraform also, or in the form of salt stack that we discussed before, Ansible in the form of configuration tool. So you can change the configurations later. So those things can be automated, but I just wanted to showcase that how do you do that manually with the help of deploying and launching an instance onto the AWS, and then with the help of NPM, how can you set up the Node.js and Express. So that's about this session we have. So that's the wrap for this chapter. If you have got any questions and concerns, you can put them in the Discord channel. We have attached the link below in the description box. Alright, I'll see you in the next chapter now.